In this episode, we look at planet Earth as part of the solar system, Unit 13, page 50 from our Social Studies workbook. What is the solar system? The solar system is made up of planets and other heavenly bodies that revolve around the Sun. The Sun is the center of the solar system. All planets, with the exception of Mercury and Venus, have satellites or moons revolving around them. Satellites revolve around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. The Sun holds the solar system together with a strong gravitational pull. Earth's Sun is only one of millions of stars which are clustered together to form our galaxy. The Earth's galaxy is called the Milky Way. Many galaxies form the universe. The path an object in space takes while traveling around another object is called an orbit. The orbits of the 8 planets from the Sun outward are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the 4 inner planets. These are closest to the Sun and are the smallest in the solar system. The inner planets are all rocky. The 4 planets farthest from the Sun are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These are made up of layers of gases and are called the outer planets. The first 4 are made up of layers of gases. Now we look at the bottom of page 50 and we have the solar system, and you will see the planets being named and shown here. So we have the Sun being represented there, and we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So we have Saturn with the rings around it, Uranus being blue and the Neptune being green, just so that we see the planets that we're talking about there. Listen to this note. This will help you to remember the order in which the planets appear. My very elegant mother just served us noodles. My very elegant mother just served us noodles. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Again, my very elegant mother just served us noodles. Now we move from page 50 to page 51, where we talk about the Sun. The Sun is a huge star. It is a mass of glowing gases. It gives us heat and light and also provides us with energy. The Sun looks much larger than other stars because it is closer to the Earth. Other stars are not seen during the day because of the Sun's brightness. Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. It is the smallest planet in the solar system. The surface is rocky with broad plains and craters. The atmosphere of Mercury is very thin, making the days very hot. During the days, the temperature gets as high as 430 degrees centigrade and falls to minus 200 degrees centigrade at nights. Venus. Venus is the brightest planet and is sometimes called the morning and evening star. It is Earth's closest neighbor and receives twice as much sunlight as Earth. Its dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide keeps the surface temperature around 480 degrees centigrade both day and night. Earth. Earth is the 3rd planet from the Sun and the 5th largest. The surface is made up of land and water. On Earth, water exists in all three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. Earth's atmosphere is unique among the planets in our solar system. It contains enough oxygen to support life. Earth has one satellite, and one natural satellite, that is, being the Moon. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. It is sometimes referred to as the red planet. It is much colder and smaller than Earth. Its atmosphere is thin, with clouds and fogs, most of which is carbon dioxide. There is also small amounts of oxygen and nitrogen. At one time, Mars probably had water on its surface. The planet has two satellites, Phobos and Deimos. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It is approximately 11 times the size of Earth. Jupiter is mostly a ball of hydrogen and helium gas. It is covered by a thick cloud and is a very cold planet. When viewed from Earth, it sometimes has many colors, but the most spectacular color is its red spot. Jupiter has 60 satellites. The largest ones are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. We now turn to page 52. Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet. Like Jupiter, it is made up of hydrogen and helium gases. Saturn has a spectacular ring system, and it is a beautiful planet with its rings. Saturn has more satellites than any other planet. Astronomers believe that it has more than 30 satellites. Its largest satellite, Titan, has its own atmosphere. Please note that we just read on page 51 that Jupiter has 60 satellites. So we'll check this to make certain. Uranus. Uranus is a gaseous planet and is the third largest. It is green in its appearance because methane gas is in its atmosphere. Uranus has 21 satellites. The two largest satellites are called Titania and Oberon. It is thought to have a rocky core which is covered with thick layers of ice and liquid hydrogen. Its highest temperatures fall below -200 degrees centigrade. Neptune. Neptune is a cold gaseous planet similar in size and composition to Uranus. It is a ball of water, ammonia, and molten rocks surrounded by hydrogen, helium, and methane. Neptune has 30 satellites, the largest of which is Triton. Neptune also has a number of rings. Please note, Pluto is no longer considered to be a planet. Since 2006, astronomers discovered that unlike the other planets, it was similar in size and its orbit crosses the orbit of Neptune. Other objects in the solar system. The solar system consists of other objects orbiting the Sun that are neither planets nor moons. These objects are known as asteroids, meteoroids, meteors, and comets. Asteroids. Asteroids are numerous objects made of rocks which orbit the Sun in between the planets. The asteroid belt separates inner planets from the outer planets. Meteoroids. Have you ever seen a shooting star? The streak of light seen in the night is caused by an object entering Earth's atmosphere and burning up after glowing for a short time. This object is called a meteoroid. A meteoroid is a chunk of rock or metal which is smaller than an asteroid in orbit around the Sun. Meteors. The light that results from the entry of a meteoroid in the atmosphere is called a meteor or shooting star. Comets. Objects of frozen gases, dust, and rocks traveling around the Sun in a huge elliptical orbit are called comets. These have bright heads with trailing tails and orbit the Sun outside the solar system. The orbit of the comet can only be observed when it is near that of the Earth. Comets are named after their discoverers. In 1682, Edmund Halley, an English astronomer, was the first to recognize that comets can travel in a fixed orbit around the Sun. Halley's comet, which last approached the Sun in 1986, is named after this astronomer. The comet seems to reappear every 75 to 76 years. Now we turn to page 53. Movement of planets. Each planet revolves around the Sun along separate paths called orbits. The orbits are elliptical in shape, that is, they are shaped like an egg. The planets do not complete their orbits at the same time because of their varying distances from the Sun. The time taken by each planet to move around the Sun, making a complete revolution, is 1 year. You already know that a year on Earth is how long the Earth takes to orbit the Sun. A year on any planet is how long that planet takes to orbit the Sun. Planets which are closer to the Sun have a shorter revolution than those farther away from the Sun. For example, planets such as Mars and Jupiter are farther away from the Sun than Earth. These planets take a longer time to make one revolution. They have farther to go and they do not move as fast. As the planets orbit the Sun, its gravity keeps them from colliding. That is, the gravity of the Sun holds all the planets in our solar system in their orbit. So at the bottom of page 53, you will see another view of the solar system, and this would be the bird's eye view where you are above the solar system looking at it. And you are going to see the Sun is at the center of the solar system, and each of those circles there represents the orbit of a planet going from inside out. Okay, so we have Mercury as 1, Venus as 2, Earth as 3, Mars 4, Jupiter 5, Saturn 6, Uranus 7, and Neptune 8. We now turn to page 54. Like Earth, all planets have two kinds of movements: revolution and rotation. The approximate length of time for each planet's orbit is listed in the table below. Before I move on, revolution is the time it takes to move around the Sun, while rotation is the time it takes to move on its axis. So let's go with the planets. So here we have the table. We have planets in column 1, the average distance from the Sun in column 2, the diameter in kilometers, the period of revolution, the period of rotation, and the number of satellites or moons. So, for example, Mercury is 58 million kilometers from the Sun. Its diameter is 4,880 kilometers. It takes 88 days to go around the Sun, and it takes 59 days to rotate on its axis. It has no moons at all. Venus is 108 million kilometers from the Sun. With a diameter of 12,070 kilometers, it takes 225 days to make one of its years, and it takes 243 Earth days to make 1 day on Venus. It also has no natural satellites or moons. Earth is 150 million kilometers from the Sun. With a diameter of 12,756 kilometers, it takes 365.25 days to make a year on Earth, and it takes 24 hours for a day. We have one, or Earth has one satellite or moon. Mars. Mars is 228 million kilometers from the Sun, and its diameter is 6,720 kilometers, while its year would take 687 Earth days, and its day would be 24.5 hours long. It has 2 satellites or moons. Jupiter is 778 million kilometers from the Sun, with a diameter of 142,749 kilometers, really wide. And it would take 11.9 Earth years to go around the Sun to complete its orbit, and it takes 9.9 hours to make a day on Jupiter. That's pretty fast. And it has 63 moons. Now we go to Saturn, which is 1,427 million kilometers from the Sun, with a diameter of 120,600 kilometers, and it takes about 29.5 years to make a complete revolution, and its day, how fast it rotates, would be 10.2 hours. It has over 30 moons. Uranus is even further away at 2,870 million kilometers, with a diameter of 51,800 kilometers. Takes about 84 years, Earth years, to make 1 year on Uranus, and its rotation is 12.8 hours for a day, and it has about 21 moons. Neptune is going to be the farthest planet from the Sun at 4,497 million kilometers, with a diameter of 49,500 kilometers, and it is going to take 164.8 Earth years to make 1 year on Neptune, and it takes about 21 hours to make a day there, and it has about 30 natural satellites or moons. So this is a very interesting table, and you can see the distances increasing from Mercury to Neptune in terms of millions of kilometers, showing that the orbits are really different in size. Now it's time for the unit review. Answer the following questions on the spaces provided. What makes up the solar system? Number 2. Why do you think the system is named solar? Number 3. Name the planets in the order of distance from the Sun. Number 4. What is meant by the term Earth years? Number 5. Which planet completes its journey first around the Sun, and why? Number 6. Why is Earth unique? Number 7. What is the center of the solar system? Number 8. Explain the main difference between the inner and outer planets. Number 9. What are the two movements of the planets? Number 10. Why do you think the planets do not collide? Number 11. Which planet is A, hottest, and B, coldest? Now at the bottom of page 55, we will see another activity that says, use the vocabulary to complete the following sentences. And here we have the vocabulary in these little bubbles. So we have galaxy, asteroids, comet, orbit, Jupiter, ellipse, Neptune, year, universe, and Venus. Number 12. A circle that has been flattened a little is an. Number 13. The planet nearest to the Earth is. Number 14. The planet with the longest orbit is. Number 15. Bodies of rocks orbiting the Sun are called. Number 16. The path along which each planet travels around the Sun is. Number 17. The largest planet in the solar system is. We turn over to page 56. Number 18. A frozen chunk of ice and dust that orbit the sun is a... Number 19. The time taken by a planet to orbit the sun is a... Good. Number 20. A very large collection of stars clustered together is... Number 21. All of space and everything it contains is called the... Good. Now, the instruction says, choose the correct response in each of the following questions. Number 22. Which planet has the longest year? Jupiter, Earth, Neptune, or Saturn? Number 23. Give the name of the planet that is between Mars and Saturn. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. Number 24. Which is the smallest planet? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth. 25. How many planets are nearer to the Sun than Earth is? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Number 26. Smaller bodies revolving around each planet are called orbits, comets, satellites, or meteors. 27. How many planets are there in the solar system? 7, 8, 9, or 10? Number 28. Which planet has the largest number of satellites? Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or is it Neptune? Number 29. Which of the following planets has rings? Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, or is it Mars? 30. What force keeps the Earth orbiting? Is it rotation, gravity, revolution, or the moon? Number 31. Which two planets are similar in composition? Is it Neptune and Saturn, Mars and Mercury? Is it Neptune and Uranus, or is it Uranus and Earth? Number 32. Halley is the name given to a or an planet, comet, asteroid, or meteor. Now we turn to page 57. 33. Below is a concept map showing how some of the main concepts in this unit link together. Only parts of the map are filled in. Complete the map using the words and ideas from the unit. We have the Sun. The Sun is center of which contains meteoroids, something else, asteroids that include have elliptical, inner planets, something. So please complete this using the concepts. Then we go to extend your thinking. It says, write a paragraph to answer the questions 34 and 35. 34. Why would it be difficult for a person to survive on Mercury and Neptune? Now we go over to page 58 and we find number 35. Why do you think space travel is dangerous? 36. If comets appear every 76 years and the last one was seen in 1986, in which year would you expect to see another comet? Now we move to the planet's word search. Circle the words listed below in this word search. And the words are Earth, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, Mars, Venus, Sun, and satellites. Now finally we have on your own. 1. Do further research on the planets in the solar system. 2. Use clay or paper mache to make a model of the solar system and label it. Now this brings us to the end of Unit 13, where we looked at planet Earth as part of the solar system. So some of the key concepts from the unit: we have the solar system, the Sun is at the center of the solar system. We have satellites, we have elliptical orbits, we have gravitational pull, we have the Milky Way, we have galaxies, and we have the universe. We have the planets. we discussed each planet and also the sun, and we looked at a few details about these. We looked at the movements of the planets. We looked at other objects in our solar system to include asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. We then looked at the distance, the average distance from the sun for all of the planets. Then we got into the unit review. So as usual, I'm going to ask you to pay attention to the unit review, be able to answer all these questions, and also to pay attention to the extend your thinking section and the on your own section, where you can get the opportunity to do extra work. Thank you very much for listening, and in our next episode we look at characteristics of planet Earth, Unit 14. See you then.